Okay, boys and girls, today we're going to begin the layout of our toolboxes. The layout is a very important process that all welders, fabricators need to know how to do. It's very important that you can do it properly the first time and not have to take a long time. So what I've done is I'm going to make a series of videos here. In the past we've tried to do it as a class, and typically people fall behind, which is fine, but they fall behind and then end up making mistakes. So we want to try to cut down those errors so that I can help all of you. So what I've done is I've gone through and I've done the first step. I'm going to go through it with you so you can see how precise we really should be. Okay? So go ahead and take a look at your print. And on your print, try to figure out how big the plate or the blank piece of material that you should get is. Go ahead and take a look at your print. And when you're looking at your print, you're looking for extension and dimensions lines that we've learned before. So you're looking for extension lines that come off of a part, and then dimension lines which have straight lines with arrows on them pointing to a number of some type. So if you see here, we see our outside piece of our part, outside piece of our part, and between those are our extensions, and then our dimension lines are here. So we know that we're 24 inches by 11 inches. Okay? All of our parts are going to vary in size. We had students cut these plates, so I'm not promising and guaranteeing that every piece is 24 by 11. If it's over or under, it really won't matter all that much because all of our measurements are taken from the exterior in. So the only thing that will change is this dimension here and maybe this dimension here of this inside part of the toolbox. So don't bother if your part is, for example, this one, this piece that I'm using is 10 3/4 rather than 11, so it's not a huge deal. The first step, which I've already done here, is cutting out these notches in the corners, not cutting out, laying out for these reliefs in the corners here. Some of this will be removed, some of it will stay. So go ahead and take a look at your print. See if you can figure out the size of these corner pieces that need to be drawn. So how far is it from here to here, and how far is it from here to here? If you look in the upper left-hand side of your print, you'll see a 2.5 with our extension lines coming from this inside of the box to the outside of the box. So we know that these are 2.5 inches in. And if you look at the lower right-hand side, you see that there's this dimension line here coming from here to here, and it's 5. So what I did, in order to do this and make straight lines, remember we have to make 2 reference marks in order to make a straight line. So I took my ruler and I put my 0 on the edge of this piece of sheet metal. I made a reference line reference mark here. I made a reference line here, 5, and then I connected it. I did the same thing here, in at 5, connected the lines. Then I went through and did the same thing here. Because we're using 12-inch rulers and our plates are 24 inches, we're going to need to make multiple reference marks in order to make it that straight line all the way across. So I went down and made a reference mark here. You can actually see one here. I made another one here, another one here, and another one here. Then I went through and I just connected all those dots in the straightest line I could possibly make. So, go ahead, make your reference line in at 5, make your straight line, in at 5, make your straight line, and then as well with your 2.5, 4 reference marks, 2.5, then connect them, 4 reference marks, 2.5, then connect them. Take your time, do it right. If you have questions, ask your neighbor. If your neighbor can't answer it, ask me. Step 2, we are going to figure out the notch here in the corner, the notch here, these diagonal lines.